Yo, yo, yo. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Peace and love, peace and love. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your patience. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We are alive. We are here. Whew. Man, a lot to talk about today. A lot to get into today on this Father's Day. All right, it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to the brothers, to the dads. Happy Father's Day to all of the dads, man, all of the fathers. Very important, very important, very important day, very important role, very important responsibility, very important season. June, men's mental health. Men's mental health. Soulful Sunday. A lot to talk about this morning, man. A lot of emotion, right? A lot to feel. Feeling a lot, thinking a lot. Yo, thank you, brother. Happy Father's Day, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Sending you love, sending you love, sending you love, brother. I know this Father's Day is a lot different for you. All right, my brother Kev on IG. I know the Father's Day is a lot different for you, brother. So sending you an abundance of love, an abundance of love and healing energy. A bunch of love and healing energy, my brother. Sending it to you. Thank you so much. Mon, thank you so much, baby. Thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to the fathers. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I know a couple of us here lost our fathers, so you know those are always challenges. Some more recent than others. The importance of a father, the absence of our father, the loss of our fathers hits us, impacts us. So thank you. But I want to get into a prayer. All right. Burn some sage and get into a prayer. Whew. Sunday, June 15th. All right, 615. 615 is 12. Sacred number. 12 zodiacs, 12 disciples. All right. 12 months. All right, so 615 is very, very, very sacred day. All right, so no coincidence. No coincidences at all in the universe. All right, known or unknown is all divine. And so in that spirit, on this Father's Day, on this Sunday, Soulful Sunday, I want to pray for our fathers who never healed from their child wounds. Our fathers who grew up without fathers. Our fathers who had fathers, but their fathers were abusive to them, to their parents, or to their mom, to their siblings, to their families. I want to pray for those fathers and for those men who have father wounds, to those men who hold pain from either the presence and the actions of their father or from the lack of presence and actions of their father. They hold pain, they hold resentment, and that resentment and that pain, it spreads and it comes out in some detrimental ways. I want to pray for those brothers. I want to pray for those fathers. I want to pray for those men. I want to pray that they know healing. I want to pray that they know it's okay to be soft. It's okay to express compassion. It is okay to be kind. It is okay to be patient. It is okay to not be so violent. It is okay to be peaceful. I want to pray for those brothers. I want to pray for those fathers. I want to pray for the fathers who are so hurt who carry so much pain in life, that they make decisions, that they take actions that are detrimental to their own lives and to the lives of their children, and they can put themselves in position to lose their lives or their freedom, and how that would impact their children. I pray for those fathers. I pray that they know clarity. I pray that they know temperance. I pray that they once again know patience and kindness. I pray that they are able to think beyond their emotion and beyond what they're feeling in the moment, and think about their children, think about their children's future. If they cannot think about their own future, I pray that they can think about their children's future and what would happen to their children, how their children would feel if they were no longer present, whether because they went to prison for hurting someone or they themselves were hurt. I pray that they know and that they develop a wider range of awareness, a greater sense of awareness. I pray for those brothers. I pray for those fathers. And I pray for the children. I pray for the children who are growing up with fathers who are present or not present, right? And their presence or lack of presence is having a negative or detrimental impact on their lives. I pray for those children. I pray for those women, those spouses, those partners, those wives, those baby mothers. I pray for those mothers who have brothers and sons, husbands, co-parents that may not always express a great sense of awareness in their lives and how it impacts the people around them. I pray sincerely. And I ask for guidance and for strength and for continued protection for those fathers, for those brothers, for those men. I pray for peace. I pray for peace, and I pray for brotherhood, true brotherhood, that we can hold each other accountable, that we can truly express love, even when it is not comfortable, in a healthy way. That we can have difficult conversations in a healthy way that is constructive towards building a better world, towards building a better family and a better community for ourselves, yes, but ultimately for our children, our children's children to live in. I pray that we recognize our actions that are not conducive to a healthy future that we may want for ourselves and our children. Thank you for listening. That is my prayer this morning. Dizzy Brown, thank you so much, my brother. Happy Father's Day. Peace and love. So so today I want to talk about Father's Day and the importance of a true brotherhood, right? So we know how important Father's Day is. We know that we are important. We know our roles are important. On IG, you can see my leg. I got a shirt on, but no pants. I got underwear on. Let me move the camera closer. You won't see my legs. That's the beauty of having your home studio, man. You just get up and throw a shirt on and you go to the studio. Right? I remember during COVID, people was doing Zooms and all of the stuff, man. They had the dress shirt on, their business suit on, and they had their underwear on underneath, man. Yo, it be like that sometimes. You hurt? You jump up, man, and you don't got no pants on. So you don't want to put no pants on. So you ain't got no time to put no pants on. I mean, it be like that, right? Happy Father's Day, Willie Will. Happy Father's Day, my brother. I appreciate you. But yeah, right. Father's Day, extremely important day, right? I mentioned at Father's Day event on Friday is the world is how it is because of the minds of men, right? And so as fathers, if we want the world to be a better place, we have to change our mindset. We have to think outside of ourselves. We have to think deeper than just financial responsibility. We have to think about emotional impact. We have to think about mental capacity and sanity, not only for ourselves, but for our children, our family, for the people we're responsible for, right? We have a lot to be responsible for as fathers. And as fathers, as many know, it's often a thankless job, right? There are situations, as we all may have seen and may have experienced ourselves, where both parents are in the home, right? Both parents are equally responsible and putting in equal work, right? Some more than others in different areas, right? Like the mom may be more with the homework, the social stuff, and the dad may be more financial. And again, we got to get past that, because as dads, our responsibility is not just about money, right? We set a spiritual foundation, right? We keep our children emotionally grounded, right? We are responsible for their mental sanity, their mental capacity, right? But a lot of times, again, as I was getting at, is that we don't get thanked, right? A lot of times, the children, they grow up, right? We see it in sports all the time. I don't thank my mom, right? And I'm specifically, I'm talking about the situations where both parents are fully present, right? Not when the dad wasn't present, right? And the mom did all of the stuff. And then, yeah, thank your mom, right? But again, we would not be here without also our dad. So even if your dad wasn't present, right, his presence in your creation, understood that maybe he left after that, maybe he was terrible after that. And that could be addressed separately. But I think if you love your life, right, if you're grateful for life, you have to thank your father, right? Because without him, without his essence, without literally his sperm, his DNA, you would not exist as you are, right? Your mother could have had a different child, but it wouldn't be you. And so, and we put work in, right? Fathers, like we work when people are asleep, right? We're thinking about how do we pay this bill. We're thinking about how do we increase our income. We're thinking about how do we do all of the things, right? And is a thing. So we don't do it to be thanked. We don't do it to for the respect. We don't do it for anything other than the fact that it is who we are, and it is our responsibility, our obligation, our commitment, and we are accountable to ourselves and to the lives that we create, right? Whether biologically or the lives that we create in terms of, I'm going to be here for you, right? You are my child, right? You may be somebody else's child, but we connected, and so like you're mine now. I also think that as fathers, yeah, it's a lot, right? But in talking about fatherhood, I want to speak specifically about the importance of true brotherhood, because before we are fathers, we are men, right? Before we are fathers, we are men. And some people could debate that, right? And so you may not be a man, you may be a male, all right? You may not be a man, because you don't have to be however people define manhood. You don't have to be that to actually create a child. We know little boys who create children, literally 11, 12-year-old boys who are able to produce sperm and able to create a child, right? And so before we are fathers, we are males, right? We become men. But even before manhood, we are part of a brotherhood. As born males, we are born, whether we have biological brothers or the brothers in our community that we become friends with in our school, that we grow up and end up working with, playing sports with, brotherhood, right? So brotherhood, the importance of a true brotherhood. What is brotherhood? We hear, or we've heard in the movies, specifically one of the most famous lines in New Jack City was, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Of course I am, right? And we know how that scene went. So separate from the movie, asking ourselves, am I my brother's keeper? I will say absolutely I am, right? And so what does that mean? That means that not only should I push myself to be my best, but I should be pushing my brother to be his best. I should be pushing my brother to be accountable, right? And all of that stuff. I'm trying to fix this IG camera with my, it's all good. A little bit of leg ain't never hurt nobody, right? A little bit of leg showing never hurt nobody. But yeah, I lost my thought, right? But brotherhood, brothers. What does brotherhood mean? Something that I've been thinking about for years, right? As I was born with three brothers, right? My dad had three sons older than me. And then after my dad transitioned, my mother had another brother. Well, my mother had another son who became my fourth brother, 13 years younger than me, right? So I grew up and had four brothers. One brother transitioned since, right? But I've always, even with four brothers, I never felt like I was part of a brotherhood. Again, the three brothers were older than me. The closest to me age was 15 years older than me, just about. And then the closest younger than me is 13 years younger than me, right? So I felt like I was always alone, right? Now, granted, I had cousins, right? One of my favorite cousins, Chris, 2 years younger than me, is more like a brother than a cousin. And then I grew up with friends, like in my neighborhood, in Queensbridge, in South Jamaica, right? In Queensbridge, on my floor, right? Third floor, 4106. It was me, it was Rasheem and Troy, right? Blood brothers. And then it was Terrence and Terrell, blood brothers, live right across the hall. Upstairs was, Man and Tamel, right? Boogie. Downstairs was Jimmy, right? Like my building was lit. Brothers, we played sports together, right? We did all of the things together. But as I grew, I realized that just hanging with somebody every day doesn't really make them your brother. You could feel a connection, there could be a bond, but things happen and we don't show up for each other. Things happen, we do things and we don't hold each other accountable. So it's like, are we really brothers, or are we just young men growing up together, right? So the importance of true brotherhood, I think, throughout all schools of thought since antiquity, it's brotherhood has been something that has been talked about, right? The importance of brotherhood. I think in the Holy Bible, in the Christian text, it mentions something about how brotherhood. In fact, let me find it. Right, let me find it. Brotherhood, Christianity. Right. Hold on. How good it is to. How good it is. Right here. It came right up too, because I done pulled this. I done pulled this a couple times. Right. Psalm 133, King James Version, right? Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that run down upon thee. Read that one more time. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that run down upon thee. So it is beautiful. It is pleasant, right? It is good when brothers can come together, right? Somebody mentioned recently, yo, come to get together, even if it's for sports. I love it, right? But we do that, and we've always done that. And I don't think, clearly, every situation is different, right? There are brothers who grew up together, who sports, entertainment, right? And they hold each other down, they're accountable. But as we know, there are brothers who grew up together, who work together, who live around each other, who live with each other, who do all of the sports, but they don't address mental health together. They don't address their financial, situations together. They don't address their physical health. They don't address like their parental styles together. They don't really do anything together other than hang out and stay surface level, right? I want to go deeper. I want to go deeper into, I am your brother. It is my responsibility. I take responsibility for helping you be your best. Even maybe when you don't want to be your best. Even when you are maybe ignorant to the fact that you could be better. Or when you're ignorant to the fact that you're doing anything that's quote unquote wrong or detrimental to self or others. Right? That's what I think brotherhood is. It's like, yo, call me on my stuff. Pull me up. Yo, bro, you bugging right now. Yo, bro, you how you arguing with your baby mother in front of your children? How you talking to your children like that, brother? That's gonna have this type of effect. And clearly, things are how you say it, right? It's not always what you say, it's how you say it. And I know a lot of times, as brothers, as black men, growing up in this country, right, especially in these big cities, we can have a naturally aggressive demeanor or tone, and so we may not always say things the best, right? This is why it's important for brotherhood to recognize, even when somebody hasn't said something the best to you, you know their intention is pure, right? You know they want the best for you, right? They may not have the best vocabulary, be able to express it as well as they may even want to. They may not be able to express it in the way that it lands, right? As effectively for you. This is why important brotherhood, like knowing that, okay, my brother loves me. I don't believe that, even though he says something that is like, whoa, that's kind of wild. But in my heart, I don't think that he is trying to harm me or trying to, put me down and step on me, right? So to speak. But this is important to true brotherhood. It's important for us to be able to do that for each other. And I think because a lot of us don't really understand brotherhood, we're not able to do that. We're not able to hold each other accountable with love, right? We're not able to pull each other up with love. But I think that's why it's extremely important, because there are some of us out here who are really, really, really not only making decisions and doing things that is detrimental to their lives, but they're doing things and making decisions that are detrimental to the lives of their children, right? Or to the children that they say they care about and love, even if it's not their biological children, right? I think that we have to, as brothers, right, and then as a society, because we need our women's help, whether our sisters, our mothers, our partners, our spouses, our wives, we need them to some degree to also point out our stuff. Be like, hey, brother, you bugging. Don't, hey, babe, you don't do that. You can't behave like that. Right? Like, we have to be humble enough, not humble in the sense of low importance, no, but humble in the sense of calm the F down, right? Because things could be haywire. Got to be humble enough to accept when our partners is telling us to sit the F down. And our partners have to be comfortable enough to tell us to sit the F down without being afraid that we're going to explode on them. Right? But again, brotherhood, right? Because maybe the wife, let's say, right, husband and wife, right? Husband has a temper, the wife is not comfortable enough to say something to her husband, right? Whether she's afraid, he's aggressive, he's abusive, he doesn't listen, she doesn't want to say anything, right? But she has to be able to go to a brother of his and be like, hey, listen, such and such right now is, he's drinking too much, right? He's being too aggressive in the home. He is not being responsible enough, right? And so I need you to talk to him. I need you to talk some sense into him. I need you to check him, right? Like, check him, and so that you could go, hey, well, brother, listen, your baby mom came to me, your wife came to me and said that you was in the home and you was yelling and throwing stuff. Like, what's up with that? Right? And then he has to be man enough, right? Manhood, man enough to not get defensive, but to, I threw stuff, I was mad, right? Like, express himself, explain what happened, and then we can build on it. Okay, was that the best situation? And you could think it was, but if your wife is having an issue with it, if your children are having an issue with it, then no matter what you say, it wasn't good for the environment, right? For the whole family unit, it wasn't good. Because as men, sometimes we, right, because of conditioning, societal conditioning, right, familial conditioning, depending on how we grew up, right, but definitely from society, we think that we got to be aggressive and we got to be like, all the time. It's like, no, dog, you don't, right? Like, literally, dog, you don't have to be like that, right? I understand it. I understand the protective spirit, but if nobody's in danger, what are you protecting them from? Now it goes from having protective energy and they're in danger and ensuring their safety. So now you're just being aggressive and you're putting them in harm's way, because now you are attracting situations to you that is detrimental to the whole unit, right? That's causing fear in those children's lives, causing fear in your wife's life, right? Your wife's life, right? All of those things happen when we are not mentally stable enough, emotionally stable enough, right? And when we don't have a real strong brotherhood, because again, we got to be able to check each other as brothers, right? It's one thing a few brothers and I we're able to do, right? Again, not as much as I would like, all right. With even the brothers that I'm able to do that with, like, yo, bro, you said that thing a few weeks ago that it wasn't okay. It made me feel like this, so I think, right, had that impact on people around you, and so we got to be able to look at that, right? And so when we talk about fatherhood, talk about Father's Day and the importance of brotherhood. There are fathers who are dead. There are fathers who are in jail for a very long time because nobody checked them. Because, and somebody says, well, it's not other people's responsibility. It is. Are we brothers or not? Are we family or not? Understanding that individually, it's never going to be where all of us, at least not for another couple hundred years, where we are as humans, right? Let alone as men, when we are individually strong enough to really govern ourselves in the best possible way to move forward. We're not there right now. We're in a dark age, right? We're in Kali Yuga. We're going deeper into a dark age, right? We see it happening literally right now across America, right now across the world. We see dark age actions. We see dictatorship rising. We see martial law, right? We see parents killing children, children killing parents, right? Spouses clearly have killed spouses. We see it, and it's getting worse, right? More hunger, more famine, right? Like, all the stuff is impacting us. It's impacting us mentally. It's impacting us emotionally, right? So we're not there right now where individually we have the mental awareness, mental astuteness to really, really, really like operate within self in a way that's fully beneficial for ourselves and all that's around us that we care about. And so we need our village, right? It's not just children who need villages, it's adults who need villages, even when they don't think they need a village, right? Because maybe they're able to financially do everything themselves, but mentally they're slacking and their families are being impacted by it. Emotionally, they're slacking and their families are being impacted by it. Physically, maybe their presence is slacking and their families are being impacted by it. Maybe they're making a lot of money, but physically they're unhealthy and they're not able to really be there present as much as they would like to because maybe, they're overweight and their knees are bad, right? And they can't really play and engage with their children in the park or in sports, or they're not able to really show up to all of the events and functions because, they have heart problems, but they make money, right? We have to know that making money is not the end all be all. Yes, clearly in this paradigm, in this environment, we need money, right? Rent, mortgage, however you put it, car note, insurance, however you put it, right? Education, private or public with extracurricular activities, however you put it, it costs freaking money. Food costs money, travel costs money, things cost money, childcare, money, clothing, right? All of the things cost money. So yes, as a father, you have to make money, right? And it should be the more money that you generate, you are able to do more for your children. However, we have to be aware enough, right? And again, this is with community because individually, clearly we're not, right? But we have to get to a point of awareness when we recognize that no matter how much we're able to financially provide for our children and our families, it takes more than that to raise a sound human. It takes more than that to, add true happiness and value to a partner's life, right? To a partner's life. Right? We have to understand that financial responsibility is a small key, important key, but small key. Mental, emotional, spiritual. Those are the main keys, right? Those have always been the main keys. That's the Trinity. And we got to be able to pour into that more. We got to be able to recognize again when our actions, when our behaviors, regardless of how much money we are spending on trips, on this, on a house, regardless of how much money, if we are causing a detriment in those other areas, then we have a problem and we are failing as fathers. We have to recognize that. And because we're not able to, as an individual, recognize that, we have to have our brotherhood be able to check us. And this is why it's important for brothers to meet regularly, right? And for us to hang out regularly, not just hang out like at events, but come to each other's homes, meet each other's families, right? Be present be brothers, right? Come to my crib and let's sit and chat. Let me come to your crib, sit and chat, hang out with me with my children. Let me hang out with you with your children, right? Like, bring our spouses together, our partners together. Let's do things so we can get to know each other, not just us meeting at an event saying what's up, right? Not just us showing up at sports and what's up, playing basketball and going bowling, and not just that, but like really getting to know each other as fathers, and not just when the lights are on and we're out and we are like on our best, but like when we're stressed and frustrated and at home, right? And our girlfriends, our partners, our wives do something or say something that we don't like. How do we respond? Right? When our children do something that maybe we suggest that they shouldn't do, right? How do we respond? Right? Or how do they respond? We got to be able to see how our brothers respond in those situations, because a lot of times it's not conducive. It's not beneficial to long-term goals. Right. I think as humans right now, a lot of humans and a lot of men, we have very short-term thinking. Right. I like to say, and again, if you know me, you know I love my brothers. Right. We're hosting the Father's Day thing at the crib today, right, for some brothers. Right. But I laugh when I think about how many brothers, how many men, how many fathers say women are emotional. Right. Like, the women, right? I grew up hearing all the time, and some of my friends still have this mindset. The women are emotional, the men are logical. And it's like, okay, like all humans are emotional, all humans are logical, right? Like, okay, what are you really saying? Oh, women are more emotional. Oh, that's what the brothers are saying. Okay. When I think about a lot of the brothers who I know who are dead or in jail for murder, right, or assault or violence, it's emotional, right? Emotional responses, man. So many men are dead because of emotional responses. Somebody said something you didn't like. You felt disrespected. It's emotional. You felt, I felt like you violated me. It's emotional, dogs, right? Like, so it's okay to have emotions and be in tune with your emotions. But I mentioned on my daily show a few days ago, it's a difference between being like weak in your emotion and strong in your emotion. Emotion is emotion. It's not weak or strong. it is what it is. But are you weak in your emotion? Can you feel anger and not go through a temper tantrum and mess everything up, right? That's weak in your emotion. So no matter how much of a man you think you are, by feeling sad or angry, feeling violated, and you go and you F things up, that's an emotional response, Playboy. An adequate, mature response, a logical response would be, what happened? Right? Okay, such and such said such and such or did such and such. How should I respond? Right? Get consultation, brotherhood, important, right? Speak to your brother, this happened, that happened, such and such said or did this. How do you think I should respond? This is what I'm thinking, right? Not just what I'm feeling, right? Yes, what are you feeling? But feelings are not facts. That's something that we know, right? Feelings are fleeting. That's something that we know. Somebody can say something, right? And you feel something, but it's completely different from what their intention was, right? And okay, we could say, okay, well, it's not what you intend, it's how it lands. Yes, of course, but we're going to take responsibility and say we're not going to be in our feelings. Like, again, I can't even count how many men I've heard read say, right? The women are emotional. And and that's why the woman can't be president. Because they're emotional. Look at what's going on right now with the freaking president and his man Elon Musk. That's emotional responses. Those are emotional, immature men. Emotional, immature men. How, like, come on. So, like, okay, we feel things. Cool, let's admit that, right? Men's Mental Health Month, right? We feel things, we think things, our mental health gets impacted. Now, how the freak are we dealing with that? This is where the brotherhood is extremely important, right? Like, brotherhood is extremely important, and I feel so sad and bad, and I want to cry right now because we leave each other to dry too freaking much. We leave each other to dry. We don't check each other. We know our brothers be crash outs. We say we love them, but we let them crash out. Knowing they got children, they're either going to be dead or in jail. And then what? And then we're like, oh, man, that's messed up. And now we got another little boy, another little girl growing up without a freaking father. And we know how important fatherhood is, right? And they're growing up without a father in the neighborhood. And now we're blaming the mothers for being single mothers, for raising the children, right? Who are emotional. Like, yo, it's just a mess. But this is why brotherhood is extremely freaking important. Because before your brother does something detrimental, you got to be able to check him. You have to. If you love him, if you love me, check me. If you love me, and when I am living and making decisions that is detrimental, and again, I know it's hard. I have brothers who I want to address, but it's tough. It's not an easy thing to do. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying we got to get better at it, goddamn, because people are losing their lives. People are losing their freedom. Children growing up without their parents, right? Because of emotional decisions, emotional actions, right? And we as brothers are not holding each other accountable. Yo, brother, you can't go over there and do that. You bugging. Right? Because again, we know some situations, right? Some of us have been in we've lived some crazy lives where we've heard, yo, brother, I'm about to go do this thing over here. And we don't say anything. But then when he does it, we're like, damn, he was wilding. Why you didn't say nothing? Why you didn't say nothing? You may not hit women, but you know your brother hits women, and you don't say anything. But you know it's wrong to hit women. You don't say anything. I watched a video the other day. On YouTube, on Instagram. And the brother said, he's talking about that issue specifically. And he said, because a lot of men are scared of men. And that's real. And that's real. You don't say anything because you're scared of what he will do to you, or what he will say to you, or how he will treat you, or how he will respond to you. So you don't say anything. You know it's wrong. You know it ain't right. You know you wouldn't do it. You know it shouldn't be done, but you don't say anything about it. I remember I heard one of my brothers slapped his wife. Went over there immediately, right? Yo, brother, what are you doing? Like, no, you can't do that. It's not okay. Right? Mind your business. No, it is my business. Number one, you my brother. I love you. You're my business. Your wife, right, is my sister. She's my business. Your children, their nieces, right? They're my business. You can't do that. It's not okay. Right? And then at some point, right, because things get, and this is why, again, it's not easy. I'm not saying it's an easy thing, baby. I would never say any of this is easy, but it's necessary. It's necessary that we hold each other accountable. It's necessary that we can talk to each other, right? And again, not always in the, oh, hey, yo, happy Friday, we turning up. No, but like, yo, we got to get better. You got to get better. I got to get better. We got to be able to communicate on that level. It's the importance of brotherhood, though. When we don't have a brotherhood, we can't do that. And that bond is only built when we get together regularly. That bond is only really built when each individual is doing as much as they can to be accountable for themselves first. Recognize your mental health issues. Recognize your freaking behavioral challenges, right? Recognize it. Recognize it. Denial is one of the biggest things that we suffer from, right? As men, as fathers, when it comes to brotherhood, when it comes to our relations with our families and things like that. Denying that we are as effed up as we are. Right? Like one thing I like to one of the things I'm proudest of when it comes to my growth is my ability to admit my F-ups, my ability to recognize my shortcomings, my ability to recognize when I've treated someone in a way that maybe they didn't deserve, or maybe the way that I shouldn't have treated them or spoke to them in a way that I shouldn't have spoken to them. I can 100% apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, without the I'm sorry, but you made. No, I'm sorry. Damn, I apologize. I did not mean, if we didn't mean it, right? I did not mean it in that way, right? Or if we did mean it that way, I was upset, and I said that because like I was upset and I was hurt. But I didn't mean to, I don't want to hurt you. I'm sorry. If you're sorry, right? If you feel bad, if you feel awful about it, right? Make the apology and then make the adjustment, right? But again, like as individuals, clearly like our individual minds right now is not programmed, right? We are programmed. It's not programmed to operate in that way. It takes a very strong mind, takes a very strong individual to get to that place, right? And a lot of us are at that place, but not as many as need to be, right? And so we as a society then got to help lift up, right? Like not just because what happens is I like Taoism. Taoism says, I like to consider myself a Taoist, right? And in Taoism, one of the teachings, it says, what is a good man? The teacher of a bad man. What is a bad man? A good man's charge. So if you consider yourself a good man, it is your responsibility and obligation to not just simply surround yourself with other good men. No, that's like, how do we get better? Right now, we all good, so we can push each other, strive, right? We inspire each other, empower each other, absolutely. But our responsibility is to the men who are detrimental in our neighborhoods, to our own biological brothers, fathers, sons, cousins, right? Friends that we grew up with, and then spread out. Like, how are the other men? Like, like we have to think like that. If I think I'm a good man and I know I have good men in my circle, then the good men got to get together and find the bad men who are raping the women, who are kidnapping the freaking children and raping them, right? Who are beating their wives, right? Who are not taking care of their children, right? Who are taking care of their children financially but causing emotional freaking and mental anguish in their children. We got to be able to check them if we're good men. Other than that, are you really a good man? Right? I like is a saying that says avoiding what it says, like talking about peace and warriorship, right? It's like, I can't remember it, right? I can't remember the quote, right? But it's deep. It's deep, man. And so as men, if we consider ourselves good men, if we consider ourselves men who are upstanding, men who are fathers, right? Who are active fathers, who are protecting our community, who's protecting and providing for our families, right? Then what are we doing about the bad men? The men who are causing destruction in our neighborhoods, the men who are misleading our youth, right? And again, not an easy solution. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a simple thing. Get together, talk about it, figure out how to address it together as a collective, right? One, I think low-hanging fruit, right? And it could get crazy, but I think it's pretty low-hanging fruit, is that when we're on the subways and the buses, right? And you look and there's 10 people sitting and it's all men and the women are standing. Brother, get up. Let the lady sit, right? And you see it now where, right, on the bus, young people get on the bus, they sit in the front seat, and then the elders are standing, and young people don't even have a thought of getting up because they're not taught. Because the men in their lives, the men that they've seen, they haven't modeled it. right? So the young boys are on the bus, on the phone, right? The older ladies are getting on the bus, the older men are getting on the bus, and they're having to stand. And sometimes me, if you know me, I say, hey, brother, you gonna let the lady sit? You gonna let the gentleman, hey, come on, get up, man. Let the older people sit. Right? And most times, young people, they, oh yeah, you're right, my bad. Right? They get up. Right? But low hanging fruit, right? Like tell, right? And that's tough because nobody can tell me nothing. We gotta be able to tell each other stuff. Because I tell you this, I used to say nobody can tell me nothing, and then I went to jail. And you know what? The COs told me stuff. So no matter how tough you are, somebody tougher, no matter how tough you are, you can find yourself in a situation where you are going to bow down by force or on your own recognizance, right? Like you're gonna volunteer to, like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna chill. Or you're gonna be forced to. Because my mama used to say there's always somebody bigger, somebody better. Always somebody bigger, somebody better. Is some of you may have heard these stories, right? But it's stories about New York State prisons, right? And there was, I think, a couple of guys who they used to bully the bullies. And so the bullies would come to jail and be tough, da-da-da. But this 2 or 3 guys were in jail for a long time. They really like big, right? And they will rape you. They would knock you out and rape you. It's crazy. They would knock you out and rape you. Whoa, think about that, right? So now you was so tough. You met somebody tougher. A few people who were a little tougher, a little crazier, right? Who had less to live for than you thought you did, right? And so they don't mind whatever could happen. But stories is I didn't meet those guys, right? I wasn't in those facilities that those guys were in. Like when I was there, it wasn't, but like I've heard the stories, right? Like I heard the stories. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But it's a testament to, like, dog, you ain't the only one. As they say, you think what's the quote? It's like, you think they stopped making guns when they made yours? No, other people got them too. Other people got them too. So like, we gotta think. We gotta think. We gotta think. We gotta think. Unless we just want all out anarchy and war. And some people want that. Like, it's very real, right? Men's mental health month. There's some men who do not care about their lives. They care, thinking, right? Like they want to do tomorrow. They want to do the trip tomorrow. They got plans to go to work tomorrow, plans to hang out. But in the heat of the emotion, they lose that care, right? And everything's thrown away. Everything is thrown away. And it's important that we think for each other as men, because you may feel like you got nothing to live for. You may feel hopeless, even though you got stuff to live for, because your mental is not correct, is not solid, is not stable. You are willing to throw it all away because of a feeling, something that you feel. Not your children were raped, not your wife was raped, not your parent was raped, violated, like none of that. None of that happened. But you feel because of something somebody said or the way they looked, right? Or questions they asked, you feel, and so now you throw your whole life away. Now you in jail because you done killed somebody. Or you the one that got killed. It happens. I've been there, right? Like, and I'm thankful that I'm still here. And that's why I'm much more conscious and aware of my words and my actions, right? Am I 100% where I would like to be? Not at all, but I'm a lot better than I was. Because I know that in an instant, everything could change. In a blink of an eye, the whole reality could be different. And when we talk about fatherhood and having children and people depend on us, you cannot afford to move like that. We cannot afford to move like that as fathers. It is not beneficial or conducive to not only our lives and what we say we want, but what the people who are dependent on us need. Our children need us. Our spouses, partners need us for multiple things. Big things and small things. Small reassurance. Our children need that. Yo, it's going to be okay. You're all right. Take a breath. Our partners need that. Yo, babe, you can do it. Chill. Take a breath. We got this. We're going to figure it out. But when you are haywire, your world is haywire, and now everything you say you care about could be gone, out the window, in an instant. And do you know how many people are in prison? Clearly, the people that's dead, we can't ask them, unfortunately. But you know how many people are in prison? Who, yo, that one thing, yo, I wish I would have did that different. I wish I wouldn't have. And I'm talking about the 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years even. I wish I wouldn't have did that thing. Ah, man, it was an emotional decision. It's emotional. Check yourself. Check each other. It's okay to have emotions. Like, it's okay to have feelings. Energy, emotions, energy, emotion. It's okay. It's okay. Your energy should be emotion. It should not be stagnant. You feel something should be able to flow through you and come out. But we cannot afford to allow it to come out, to continue to come out, because it's come out too much for so many years for us as humans, right? Us as men, as fathers. But it can't keep coming out in a detrimental way. Write it out. Cry it out. I'll cry it out. Right now, to me today, I cry. I cry so much because the alternative is not what I want. Because if I know what happens when I don't cry, right? I tell you guys the story all the time. My dad died at 11. My older sister died at 14. I saw a friend killed by a friend on my 16th birthday, right? And they were friends. So my dad died, I cried, right? Then by the time my sister died, I wasn't crying as much because they told me that I shouldn't be crying. So I shouldn't be crying still a year later after my dad dies. So I definitely shouldn't be crying 3 months later after my sister dies. And so now, fast forward, 2 years after my sister dies, when I'm 14, great friend kills another great friend. We all from the same building, right? And in front on my birthday, I can't cry, suck it up. And so now, fast forward, now ministries now is from 11, 12, right? Because I cried a lot from 11 to 12, and then at 12, around 12, stopped crying so much because it told me I couldn't cry so much, right? I shouldn't be crying so much because it happened months ago, so I shouldn't still be as affected, even though that's my dad, who was my best friend, who was my hero, who was my king, right? I can't cry 6 months later. I can't still feel hurt. I'm an 11-year-old boy, right? It's not like even no matter how old I am, I should be able to, but I'm a boy, 11 years old, and my dad died suddenly. I wasn't prepared, right? I wasn't prepared. Some people say you can. I think you can be prepared for transition. I wasn't prepared at 11 for my dad to leave, right? Cried. Oh, stop crying. 14 years old, sister dies. I cry, but I check myself. I can't be crying like that, right? 16. Oh, it's no tears. It's like, oh, that's messed up. Drink some Hennessy. Oh, that's messed up. Let's get drunk, right? And now you fast forward 3 years, 4 years, 19 years old, sit with a gun to my head after being shot, all right? 20 years old, I go to prison for a shooting. Why did I go to prison for that shooting? Because something small happened, right? Pretty small, right? That could have been handled with words, or could have maybe been a light fist fight, and it probably most likely would have been over. Nobody would have went to jail, right? But something small happens because I'm already wound up so tight. It explodes, and now I shoot a gun, 9 shots at some people. Now I go to prison for 3 years. Emotional, didn't cry, held it in, bottled in, drunk Hennessy, drunk Remy Martin, drunk freaking gin and juice, right? Like all of the stuff, vodka, right? All of the things we was drinking every day, to the point where I explode because I didn't deal with my emotions. The logical thing, right, if we're going to say men are logical, would have been to admit, you know what, I'm really hurt right now. I'm really freaking sad. I'm really angry, and I can't deal with any of this right now. So let me remove myself from everything and go seclude myself and figure this thing out, right? And come back when I'm a little better and can really like pinpoint it. That's logical, but that's not what we do, right? We hold it in, 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 and then we explode. And then we explode and blame other people for making us explode. No, you allowed yourself to get wound up that much. And I get it. Society hasn't been kind to us. So, right, like, but like and that's one promise I made to myself coming out of prison, was that no matter how uncomfortable it is for people around me, I'm going to talk about how I feel. Whether to people directly, right? Or just in general, and whoever you hear it. And Ray, yeah, I am. Because I refuse to allow myself to bottle up these emotions and put myself in a position again where I could go to jail or be killed. No, I'm not doing that no more. So I'm going to express myself. And so now I cry. I cry a lot. Something happens, and I'm like, the old me would respond like this. I can't respond like that. So I would just cry all day and all night for 3 days and 3 nights if I need to. 4 days and 4 nights. Clearly, I've matured enough where I can cry, stop myself from crying, handle what I need to handle, right? do what I need to do in the moment. Okay, if it's a gig I need to do, if it's showing up for whoever I need to show up for in that moment, I could do it. And then once I'm done, I'm going back to cry again because I ain't finished crying because I'm still angry about this thing. I'm still sad about this thing. And it's okay to be sad about something, not just angry, right? We are so, oh, I'm angry. It pissed me off. Oh, you really just sad. And you don't know how to sit with sadness. You feel disappointed. You feel violated, right? Is that what it is? Not just angry, not just violated in the sense that like, oh, I feel violated, I'm pissed off. Like, oh, I can't believe a person did that, man. I feel like they violated our friendship. They violated our brotherhood. They violated our bond, right? And I feel really sad about that. I'm really disappointed in that situation, right? Like, fatherhood, very important. Brotherhood, extremely important. Extremely important that we get to that space, right? And so I would like to, in that, when you know you got a lot to lose, you move and think different. Absolutely. Scott Joyner, happy Father's Day, brother. Facts. Same here. It took a minute to get to that point. Absolutely. Girls are taught to express their emotions. Boys are often taught to suppress theirs. Absolutely. Absolutely. Annette, happy. Thank you so much. I'm about to say happy Father's Day to you. Thank you so much, Annette. I appreciate you. Thank you. Right. But I want to, brothers who are here listening, brothers who will watch this show after it airs, right? I want us to get together. And again, I'm hosting something today at the crib, so I'll be talking to the brothers here today. We have to immediately solidify an official brotherhood where we are able to address situations related to our fatherhood together, right? If it's a group of 10 of us, right, and one father is having issue with his children's mother, we need to be able to come together and figure out how do we collectively address that. Not like, oh, bro, you got to address that. You got to go. No, how do we address that? If that's another brother's wife speaking to our children's mother, right? If that's another brother speaking, right? Whatever it is, like, we got to figure that out. Because I promise you, like, there are things that clearly have happened that we can't go back from, right? Again, where lives have been lost, freedom has been lost, right? Because there was no brotherhood to talk to and to like intervene and to mediate, right? We didn't have that, right? And so now we need a whole community, right, of brothers and sisters. But I'm speaking to my brothers that we got to be able to like set that tone, set that foundation, where it's like, yo, this is happening. This brother's going through this. We need to collectively help him figure that out, right? I'm about to cry now because I'm saying this, brothers, for me, I'm going through some shit. I got some shit happening, man, and I need help. I need help figuring this shit out. Like, I need help. I'm saying it. All right. And I'm not only saying it now, I've said it, right? I need help. I need real help with some stuff, brothers. I need real help, right? I am hurting. Right? I am hurting. My heart is hurting. My mind is a little boggled. There's some shit happening related to my fatherhood. And it doesn't feel good. And it's not good. It just doesn't feel good. It's not a great situation for anybody. So I need help, right? I need help. And one of the things I need help with, I need us to come together and to be able to address situations, right? Mediate situations, right? And yeah. So as I read the quote from Bible, Psalm 133, right? How good and pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. And I think unity means collective work and responsibility. Unity means that, like, your life is my life, your issues are my issues, right? Your challenges are my challenges, your problems are my problems. I'm here for you, I'm here with you, right? That's unity. Unity is not, oh, I love you, bro, but you got to deal with that. Yes, each individual has to deal with their stuff individually, right? Each individual has to speak, has to show up for their, but like, we could do a freaking better job, man, at really being family and really being united and understanding that sometimes the brother might not have the capacity to address it. So like, you may have to address it for him, right? You can argue what you want. Like, if you love him, it may be best for you to address it, because if he addresses it, it may be addressed in a way that is not detrimental, and then things could go haywire, things could go completely left. And then you'd be like, oh man, that's messed up, what happened to bro? No, man, like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, we got to be there for each other. We got to lift each other up. We got to support each other in such a deeper way, right? In such a deeper way. And so, like, that's my call out to us, right? Fathers, even if you are on here, you are not a father, but you are a man, that's call out to you too, right? Because like as a man, if you consider yourself a man, I think one of the tenets of manhood is protection and provision. And so like, even if you don't have biological children, if there are children in your family, if there are children in your community, if your friends have children, you are a father figure. Clearly, only if you accept the responsibility. Unfortunately, even if you don't accept the responsibility, somebody's still watching your moves and mimicking you. So if you stay silent on issues, somebody's gonna also stay silent on issues. If you say, oh, I'm a man, I'm a king, but you letting the children run amok in your neighborhood, then how are you a man and a king? If you got no order in your kingdom, what do you like years ago, right? It was a great debate. Somebody said, can a man be a king if he doesn't have a queen, right? And if there's no kingdom? It was an incredible debate years ago. Like I understood both sides. I rest on the side that, right, like if you ain't leading nothing intentionally, if you ain't building nothing intentionally, then I'm sorry, you are not a king. Regardless of how much money you think you're making, regardless of how much dick you think you're slinging, right? How many chicks you sleeping with, you're not a king if you're not creating order in your neighborhood, in your family. Striving to, again, not easy, but at least working towards it. If you're not doing that, then I don't care how much money you make, how big your muscles are, you're not a king. You're just a man, right? And that's even arguable, right? And that's all due respect, right? And it's okay to recognize, you know what, like, and everybody's not there yet, but like, I was a boy. I personally was a boy just a few years ago. 30 something years old, I was still a boy. 38 something, 30, I think, yeah, about 3 years ago, 38, I was still a boy. I grew up a lot in 3 years, a lot more responsible, a lot more accountable. And so again, there's no shots or shade to anybody because everybody's gonna find it at different points in their life. But like, it's okay to be like, hey, I was still a boy. I might have been a male, I might have been an adult male, right? And I might have felt like a man sometimes because of things that, whether it's sex or money or whatever it is, I feel like a man. But if I'm not establishing order in my neighborhood, if I'm not having difficult conversations in my family, because if I do consider myself a man, then I'm a cowardly man. And no man wants to be called a coward, right? So I don't mind being called a coward. I've been a coward sometimes, right? But some men would rather, and I think it might be a little better on the psyche to say I was an immature boy as opposed to say, oh, I was a coward. It's okay to be both. We're all both at different points, right? And we grow up, and this was the importance for brotherhood, for us to help each other grow up and give space to say, yo, I don't think that was real manly right there. That wasn't a manly decision, right? That was kind of cowardly. You avoided that thing, right? And cowardly doesn't always mean avoiding conflict. You can be smart by avoiding conflict, right? So it's not cowardly. Cowardly is not standing up in your neighborhood. Cowardly is not standing up for your children. Cowardly is not, that's being a coward, right? Not just standing up for violence or physically or aggressive, right? Is having difficult conversations, right? But we're gonna wrap up shortly. Happy Father's Day to the dads, right? To those who are missing their fathers on this Father's Day, to the women and the men missing their fathers, I send you love, right? May you remember your dad today. May you honor your dad today, right? May you celebrate your dad today, right? Even if it's only in your heart. For those who have estranged relationships with their father, may today you have a little more forgiveness in your heart, a little more understanding in your heart, a little more compassion in your heart. Not only for your father who may not be there or who may be estranged, right? But for your own self, for your own mental sanity, for your own emotional, right, safety, right? And I just want to burn some Palo Santo real quick. And just take a breath with you guys before we get out of here. All right, just want to take a breath with you guys before we get out of here. All right, we have a very important job, fellas. Very important job. Our children are watching us. Our wives, our spouses, our sisters are watching us. Our parents are watching us, right? And we are watching each other. And so, as individual brothers, none of us can do all things, but together we can do everything. None of us can do all things, but together we can do everything. Together we can build a better world. Together we can build stronger families. Together we can save our communities. So just take a breath in that truth. Take a breath in that light. See yourself as enough as you are. and recognize the areas in which you could be better, the areas that you could be refined, the areas that you can become more mature. Admit that to yourself first and foremost. I can grow. I have room for growth. I want to grow for myself, for my family, for my children. I want to be better. I want to be around a long time. I want to be free. It is okay as fathers, as men, to avoid conflict. It does not make you weak. It does not make you a coward. Sometimes the smartest thing to do is to step away from a battle, understanding that you could win the battle but lose the war. So it is not about winning the battle. It's not about proving how tough you are. It is not about proving how big your balls are, proving machismo. It's not about any of that. As fathers, it is about longevity, us being around as long as we possibly can to see our children grow, to see our grandchildren grow, to see a better community for our children to grow in, for the children in the neighborhood to grow in. Longevity is the key. And so let us take care of our mental health. Let us take care of our emotional health. Let us take care of our physical health. And let us take care of our spiritual health. Brothers, I love you. Brothers, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I am here for you. I am here with you. I am you. I am your reflection. I am your extension. And I am your expression. And I hope that you feel the same and think in a similar way. We are here. We are one. We need each other. Happy Father's Day, my brothers. Right. Enjoy your day. Right. Stay prayed up. Right. Meditate. Keep your head in the game. Stay focused. Keep your head up. Keep your heart strong. Keep your spirit aligned. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Happy Father's Day. Peace. 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 Peace.